I'm going to be opening this video a little bit differently than I normally do because this week the US figure skating community experienced a tragedy that we have not experienced in a very long time. On the night of Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, an American Airlines flight collided with a Black Hawk helicopter while landing at Reagan International Airport in Washington, D.C., and over 60 people who were on board the flight, along with the helicopter, all tragically lost their lives in this accident. Amongst the victims were a group of skaters and coaches on their way home from the U.S. Figure Skating National Training Camp held in Wichita, Kansas in conjunction with the U.S. National Figure Skating Championships. These skaters just had probably the most amazing week of their life. This national training camp is an invitational camp where you have to place high up at your sectional championships in order to be invited. It is a developmental camp for young skaters who are the future of skating, the future Olympic champions, future world champions, and their lives were tragically ended after a week of celebration and training. I did not know any of these victims as I've been fairly removed from the figure skating community for a few years, and this was also from skaters on the East Coast and I live on the West Coast. However, this runs deep. The figure skating community holds a very special bond with the entire world of figure skating. And these kids were kids. They were young. They were talented. They were the future of not just our sport, but of the world. And their lives were just taken so quickly and horrifically. As a figure skater, I know the depths of the bonds that you have with your fellow training mates, with your coaches, and my heart just breaks for the families and the friends of these victims. It's going to take a very long time for not just the US figure skating community, but the figure skating community as a whole to heal from this if we ever really can. So I just ask that you all join me in sending up prayers. And if you are able, I am putting a GoFundMe in the description of this video for the victims' families as they try to pick the pieces back up from losing their children, their husbands, their wives, their coaches, their family, their friends. I will be donating 100% of the money made off of this video today to this GoFundMe in order to support these victims' families. It's going to take a while to pick the pieces back up from this, but I hope that today's video can bring joy to everyone who maybe is feeling the pain of this horrific loss in the figure skating community this week.
Hana さんの動画の固定コメントをご紹介します。
皆さん、こんにちは。今回の動画で、いつもと同じような元気がなかったかもしれません。申し訳ありません。今週、このコミュニティでとても悲しい出来事がありました。そんな中で、普段通りに過ごすのが少し不自然に感じています。でも、私は大丈夫です。心配しないでください。誰かに同情してほしいわけではなく、ただ今まさに大きな悲しみの中にいるご家族のことを思うと、胸が締め付けられるような気持ちになるのです。来週にはいつも通りの動画に戻ると思います。でも、今のこの気持ちを偽ってまで普段通りに振る舞うことはしたくなかったので、正直にお話ししました。
I don't know what the average competitive score is at that level in Japan, so we'll see. We're building up a rivalry here, I can see. You need to get over your obsession with not letting adults help you. You do skate on your own. That is true. Your coach can't get out there and skate with you. All right, let's see how this goes. I wonder if we'll get the final results this episode. Okay. She looks very determined. Very different styles, that's for sure. Good single axel. Yeah, a lot of height. Good single lutz. Oh, she didn't get her combination. And then she's probably too young to really do the math in her head and know when to add the combo somewhere else. Yeah. Is she going to be able to do it? Uh-oh. So a lot of times in programs, you have 3 jump combinations in high levels. She probably only has the opportunity to do 2 jump combinations, but sometimes the first planned combination, the first jump in it, goes wrong and you cannot get the combination off because of a multitude of different reasons. Seasoned skaters will know when to add it. There's a lot of rules that I'm not going to get into right now that make it difficult to know when to throw a combo because you're only allowed to repeat jumps so many times, otherwise you just get a big fat 0 for it. So there's a lot of math that goes on in your head if you miss your original combination, but it's usually only seasoned skaters that can really think on their feet and get that combination off on a different jump. In the case of, I think what's happening to her, which I haven't seen, so maybe I paused it a little bit early, if you don't practice making mistakes, like let's say every time you run your program, it's absolutely perfect and nothing goes wrong. If you do make a mistake in competition, you are way less likely to be able to add the combo somewhere else when you're not used to that. So there is some skaters, even if they're consistent skaters in practice and always can do a clean program, they will sometimes specifically practice their program by pretending they made a mistake on a jump and then having to add it somewhere else to make sure they add it to the correct jump to get that combination. So combos are a big deal in skating. You do not want to miss them because they are worth so many points. It's worth a lot of points because it's so high difficulty. You literally don't get to do anything in between a jump. You literally just jump, you land, and then you instantly reload and jump into another jump. So those are very difficult to pull off. But if you're really good in practice and then you miss it in competition, the likelihood that you'll be able to add it somewhere else gets really low because you're not in a situation that you're used to. Don't give up. Yeah. And it's a big combo if it's a axle combo. You want to redo everything? That's a very real feeling. Many times when we have a bad skate, we just want to do over. Like you finish and you're like, I just want to start over. Just give me another shot. She's doing another double sow. She probably can't. It's probably against the rules. There are so many small rules, and that's what makes it so hard when you accidentally don't do a combo on a jump trying to tack it onto something else. You have to be able to do very quick math, and she probably just isn't ready for that yet. So I would assume in this level, she's not able to repeat any jumps. So she's going to get 0 for that second jump, is what I would assume. Just one event completely changes her. Everything can change the moment you get out there on competitive ice. It's such a different feeling than practice. So that's why she doesn't want to trust adults. There's not inherently wrong with that. It is a very independent sport, unless you go pairs or ice dance. Oh? I thought they were still gonna give it to her. Wow, Inori won, didn't she? You're too young to have a rivalry. Just skate because you love it. Winning definitely feels good to win, but winning isn't everything, and you're not gonna win every single one. Aww. Cute. Oh, they're besties now. Sometimes just one iffy competition can turn you into that. Are we getting to the higher levels? Hikaru's there. I was gonna say. That really fun side note, I remember my coaches used to have all kinds of rules when it came to competing. You could only get there a certain amount of time early because of how tiring it would be, and I always hated it because I wanted to go watch my friends, but they would be like, no, you need to stay like at the hotel if we traveled for it, or at home. Get there like an hour and a half early so you can check in, warm up, and skate, and not spend a ton of time beforehand. And I always hated it and sometimes pushed back on it. I was a little rebellious at times. But it definitely is something to be said. Spending a day at a competition and then competing definitely drains your energy a little bit. He was awfully mean to her. He doesn't remember. That doesn't surprise me. Wow. Same. I would be doing the same exact thing. Go Hikaru-chan! We would always fight with each other to cheer for our friends if we got to watch. We'd be like, no, I'm louder! Ooh. This is very commonly used music in the world of figure skating. Alright, what we got here? Triplets. Double loop. So that's a combo. And a loop off of a jump is harder than a toe loop because you don't get to put another foot in. You just have to hope and pray that the landing of the first jump was perfect so you can just immediately jump up and land again. Triple flip. Triple Salchow. Beautiful centering. I like how they even add the ice like flying. Just little details that make me happy. Beelman. I could never do a Beelman. My back was never flexible enough. Nice. So that is called a spiral. I'm sorry, I keep pausing it at bad spots. I like to always use this one because people who don't figure skate are always very confused. So the spiral it's like an arabesque, and it was actually one of my absolute favorite things to do when I was skating because I had very flexible hips, which made it very easy. And it is just one of the most beautiful elements in skating, but it's weird that it's called a spiral when there's no spinning involved because spiral usually means some kind of circle or spin. So, fun fact, that was called a spiral, but it's not a spin. Got a back camel layover. That was very good. Boom, boom. Very, very commonly used skating music. Oh, so it was a triple, it's triple loop. It's hard to tell the rotations in animation. Yeah, that's an important part, especially at a high level. The more you can make the jumps just come out of nowhere. Wow. Okay. The more you can make the jumps come out of nowhere, just out of steps and choreography, the more points you'll get, because that's a high transition score. The goal is to literally make it look like you jumped out of nowhere, like you were not setting up for one. You got a long ways to go, Inori-chan. Why? I mean, it's very common for not the coach to choreograph. People will travel all over the world to work with specific choreographers that are just choreographers. They're not their coaches. Very common. Did he choreograph it, this freaky looking guy? I mean, obviously he's not actually a bad guy. This is a skating anime. This isn't a battle shonen. Oh. He is not dead. 死んでません。Oh my god. No, you might, oh no. Oh god. 死んでません。Oh, but everyone has concussions. Yeah, who is that? After competing? So is he her coach actually, or is he her choreographer? Well, he's a real downer. Okay, so he is her coach. Okay, then. It's intense. Okay. What was his name? June? So it seems like he has a very similar mindset to the general idea that you have to be super young to start skating. And there is still some merit behind what he's saying. However, I think what Inori is proving is that some skaters really can pick it up when they're a little bit older and pick it up fast. But it was good to see Inori win her first competition. That's definitely a little confidence boost that will help her continue to be very inspired, I would say, and she can really continue to work hard. That's just like a good way to start out a competition. I would say there's something to be said about not winning your first one, because when you win your first one, especially at her age, it's like there's this dopamine rush where you don't ever want to not feel that again, and it can become actually more difficult the later on you get if you don't win everything, which you're not going to win everything. So it'd be interesting to see how she handles the pressure of winning her first competition and where she's going to go from there. Hikaru just seems like a very talented skater. I guess she did a triple combo. I couldn't tell with the rotations, but doing any combo with a triple loop at the end is one of the most difficult things you can do. In fact, most senior skaters that you see at the Olympics and on TV will do a triple toe loop off of a jump instead. And that is because the triple loop, you don't get to launch yourself off of the opposite foot that you land on. You can only use the foot that you landed on to just literally jump right back up into the air. It is way more difficult, and you have to be foot perfect on the first jump in the combo to make a loop combo work. So she seems to be very talented, and I'm looking forward to seeing where she goes as well. All in all, the characters in this show are all very intriguing and seem to have very different perspectives of the world of skating and where they're going from here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all ties together.
それでは今日出てきた英単語を振り返ってみましょう。
Rivalry。
この単語は個人やグループ、企業などが競争し合う関係を指します。特にライバル同士の長期的な争いやスポーツやビジネス、個人的な競い合いに使われます。ポジティブな競争心を意味することもあれば、激しい対立を表す場合もあります。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
The rivalry between the two soccer teams has lasted for decades.
その2つのサッカーチームのライバル関係は何十年も続いています。
Sibling rivalry is common in many families.
兄弟姉妹間の競争は多くの家庭でよく見られます。いのりとみけちゃんはライバル関係みたいになっていましたが、大会が終わった後は仲良くなっていましたね。あのぐらいの年齢で激しい対抗意識を燃やすことも まあありますよね。
Obsession.
この単語は何かに対して異常なほど強い関心を持ち執着することを意味します。ポジティブにもネガティブにも使われ、熱中する趣味や考えが頭から離れない状態を表します。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
His obsession with perfection makes him work long hours.
彼の完璧主義への執着が長時間労働につながっています。
She has an obsession with collecting rare books.
彼女は希少な本を集めることに取り憑かれています。ミケちゃんは大人を頼りにしないという考え方により疲れているように見えましたね。幼稚園か何かの先生たちももう少し両方の事情を聞いてあげてもよかったと思います。
Determined.
この単語は何かを達成しようとする強い意志を持ち、決心したまたは断固とした態度を表します。困難な状況でも諦めずに目標に向かう姿勢を示すときに使われます。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
She is determined to become a doctor despite the challenges.
彼女は困難にもかかわらず医者になることを決心しています。
His determined attitude helped him win the championship.
彼の断固とした態度が彼を優勝に導きました。本番になるとミケの表情も断固としたものになっていましたね。けど振り付けは可愛くてちょっとギャップがあるのもまた良かったですよね。途中まで笑顔も素敵でしたしね。
Seasoned.
この単語は長年の経験を積んだことで熟練したまたは経験豊富なことを意味します。特定の分野や職業での熟達を強調する場合によく使われます。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
He is a seasoned journalist with over 20 years of experience.
彼は20年以上の経験を持つ熟練したジャーナリストです。
The seasoned chef prepared the meal with great skill.
その熟練したシェフは非常に高い技術で料理を作りました。経験豊富な選手になると、コンビネーションジャンプを失敗した後でもそのジャンプを別のコンビネーションに組み込んで補うみたいですね。私の空っぽの頭では、そんなこと本番じゃ絶対にできませんね。
Think on one's feet.
この表現は、急な状況でも冷静に素早く考えて対応することを意味します。即座に決断を下したり、柔軟に問題を解決する能力を表します。特に、ビジネスや緊急事態、即興のスピーチなどで使われます。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
During the interview, she had to think on her feet to answer unexpected questions.
面接中、彼女は予想外の質問に素早く考えて対応しなければなりませんでした。
A good salesperson needs to think on their feet when dealing with customers.
優れたセールスマンは、顧客対応の際に素早く考えて対応する能力が必要です。ジャンプを失敗した後でも、本番では素早く考えて対応しなければいけないという話がありましたよね。けど本番だと緊張して、なかなかそういうことが考えられないかもしれないですよね。
Mindset.
この単語は、ある人が持つ考え方や思考の枠組みを意味します。人の信念や価値観、物事をどう捉えるかに影響を与える要素で、ポジティブなマインドセットや固定観念などを指すことができます。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
A positive mindset can help you overcome challenges.
前向きな考え方を持つことで、困難を乗り越えることができます。
Her mindset about success is that hard work always pays off.
彼女の成功に対する考え方は努力は必ず報われるというものです。純とかいう人はフィギュアスケートを始めるのなら幼い時じゃないとダメという考え方の持ち主のようでしたね。祈りと司くんにはフィクションだとしてもそれを覆してほしいものです。
Beastie.
この単語は親友や仲のいい友達を意味するカジュアルなスラングです。特に女性同士の友情を指すことが多いですが、どんな性別の友人にも使えます。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
I'm so lucky to have my beastie by my side.
親友がそばにいてくれて本当に幸せです。
She's not just a friend, she's my beastie.
彼女はただの友達じゃなくて私の親友だよ。いのりとみけちゃんは大会が終わった後は仲のいい友達になっていましたね。みけちゃんがいのりちゃんに抱かれて寝ている様子は猫のようで可愛かったですね。
Rebellious.
この単語は反抗的なまたは反発する態度を示すことを意味します。特にルールや権威に対して挑戦する態度を持つ人や行動を表します。重大の反抗期や社会のルールに逆らうアーティストなどによく使われます。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
He was a rebellious teenager who always questioned authority.
彼はいつも権威に疑問を持つ反抗的なティーンだった。
Her rebellious attitude made her stand out from the crowd.
彼女の反抗的な態度が彼女を周りの人々と差別化しました。みけちゃんはどちらかというと反抗的な子供でしたが、この大会での失敗を機に少しだけ素直になれたのかもしれませんね。まあ、ちょっとだけ度が過ぎてましたから、ちょうどよかったです。
Intriguing.
この単語は興味をそそるまたは魅力的なと感じさせるものを指します。特に何かが神秘的だったり奥深さを感じさせたりする場合に使われます。映画、本、アイデア、人物などに対してよく使われます。こちらがその英単語を使った例文です。
The book's plot was so intriguing that I couldn't put it down.
その本のストーリーはとても興味深くて読むのをやめられなかった。
There's something intriguing about his mysterious smile.
彼のミステリアスな笑顔にはどこか魅力を感じる。大会も終わって、これからいのりちゃんがどのような成長を遂げるのかが楽しみですね。個人的には、司コーチの過去に何があったのかも気になるので、それも楽しみにしています。